Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2021 Mazda CX-9, we're going to be showing you how to install the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver. But before we get into that, why don't we just take a minute, check this out, and make sure it's going to work for you. With the CX-9 being pretty versatile, a lot of people are using them to pull a trailer around or use different types of accessories. And to be able to do that, you're going to need a hitch. And with this particular one, it's going to be able to handle all those types of tasks. And something that I would think about as well when picking a hitch out for the CX-9 is how's it going to look, right? Because these are pretty sporty SUVs. And it doesn't really get much better in this one, in my opinion at least. I think this is probably my top pick in terms of appearance. And I say it because for the most part, it's going to be completely hidden, sits up nice and tight against the bottom of the bumper. And since it has more of that matte black finish, I think it does a good job of kind of blending in and matching the factory plastic. One of the big questions I do want to address is if your vehicle has a factory liftgate assist option, is it still going to work with the hitch in place? And the answer is yes. You are going to have to kind of change the positioning of your foot a little bit and kick to either side of that receiver tube opening, but once you find that sweet spot, it will open up like it should. With this being a Class 3 hitch, it is going to have the 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening. So super common size, a lot of different accessories are going to work with it. It is going to use that standard 5/8 pin and clip. Keep in mind though, one of these doesn't come with the hitch. If you need one, not really a big deal. You can grab it here at eTrailer. Or a lot of times if you end up buying a new accessory, they'll come with one anyway. So just something to think about. I do like the safety chain openings. They're nice and big and will allow us to use just about any size hook that our trailer has on it. As far as the weight capacities go, it's going to have some good numbers. Maximum gross tongue weight rating, it's going to be 600 pounds. This could be the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. So that's more than enough for most cargo carriers and bike racks. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, that's going to be 4,000 pounds. The amount of weight pulling on the hitch. So the weight of your trailer plus anything that you might have on it. This setup can be used with the weight distribution system, which is a separate component. What happens when you use that, it's going to keep your Mazda level and your trailer and your Mazda level whenever you're towing it down the road. So if you got like a bigger camper or something like that, might be worth looking into. Even if you use that though, capacities are going to remain the same. With all that in mind, I do always like to suggest it's never a bad idea just to grab your Mazda's owner's manual. That way you can make sure your SUV can handle that much weight safely. Now we can grab a couple of measurements. These will help us figure out what type of accessories will work best. If you go from the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening, that's going to set right at about 14 inches. So if you do plan on pulling a trailer around, chances are pretty good you can use a ball mount that has a slight rise in the shank. Right about 2 inches should cover most people. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of the rear bumper, that's going to be about 5.5 inches, and you can use that to help figure out that if any folding type accessories you might have can be stored in that upright position without hitting the back of your Mazda. So at the end of the day, hitch you really can't go wrong with. I think it looks really good on the back of the Mazda and it's going to be really capable, allow you to do all those different types of tasks. As far as the installation goes, pretty straightforward actually. You let the exhaust come down a little bit, which is pretty easy, and get your hardware up there and kind of bolt the hitch up. So really not too involved. But if you'd like to see how that's done, feel free to hang around. We'll go ahead, pull into the garage, and put it on together now. To begin our installation, we're going to be here underneath the back of our Mazda, and first thing we need to do is remove this panel here. And that's going to entail taking out 4 fasteners, 2 on each side. So here's what 2 of those fasteners are going to look like. I want to mention from this point on, anything we do to one side of the vehicle, we're also going to do to the other side because they'll be set up the same way. But with these, you can take a flathead screwdriver, just pry down on the head, pull the whole base out. Same thing with this one. I already did the other side, and now we should be able to get this removed here. Looks like there might be some type of tab holding it in, which I'll drop this down and show you what I'm pushing on. So there's that little keeper there. Kind of pry on that. This will come down and we will set it off to the side. So now we need to lower our exhaust down some to give us some extra space to work. So I'm gonna take a strap, run it from side to side, snug it up a little bit. That way we can kind of control how fast and how far we let the exhaust come down. To lower the exhaust, we're gonna have a total of 4 isolator hangers that look just like this. So 2 on each side of your vehicle. You can spray them down with some soapy water, some type of lubricant. Makes it a lot easier to slide them off. And then you just take a pry bar, big screwdriver, whatever you got, and work one end of the hanger off. So I got the other side off already, and now I can loosen this up some and give us that extra space. Now we can remove this plastic piece here, this little bracket. So there's a push pin fastener. We pop that out. And then up there, the 10mm bolt. Pull that out. And we should be able to just kind of work this down and out of the way. Now we can get our hardware in place. We're gonna have 2 attachment points in our frame. One of them will be this one here. And you wanna start with that one. Take a coiled end of your fish wire, put it through, feed it towards the back of your vehicle. And what we're trying to do is to get it to drop out of that larger hole there, which you got kind of lucky, it came right out. A lot of times you might have to reach up there and kind of help give it some assistance. What you're gonna do, take your carriage bolt, put on a spacer block, thread the carriage bolt onto the pull wire, and then feed the hardware up into the frame one at a time. Pull it down, so it drops down like that. And then to get the hardware up there, you're just gonna take your coiled end, put on a spacer block, thread on the carriage bolt. We're gonna reverse fish wire this one. So you'll take your bolt, put that in first, then your block, and drop it back down. So now you can grab an extra set of hands, help you get the hitch in place. You could take the hitch, raise it up over the exhaust, and push your pull wires through simultaneously here. Get the bolts to drop down through it. Remove the pull wire. Then you can take a flange nut, and you want to get at least one started on each side, hand tight. That way the hitch will support itself while we work on the rest of the hardware. Now with all of our hardware in place and hand tight, come back with a 3/4 inch socket and snug it all down. And then you need to make sure to come back with a torque wrench and tighten down all the hardware to the amount specified in the instructions. Once the hitch is all torqued down, we can take our exhaust, re-lubricate it, and hang it, rehang it the opposite way that we removed it. So usually you can just line these up by hand and get them going. I already did the other side, so once that's complete, we'll go ahead and remove our strap. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver on our 2021 Mazda CX-9.